let's go here and watch our boy Mo that came with a top DPS Druid build.
I had the chance to travel to the US and more specifically California to visit Blizzard headquarters, and there I had the chance to meet a bunch of talented and passionate content creators of the game, as well as
Talented and passionate,
meeting
guys.
the amazing team behind Diablo Immortal, including chatting to the developers and also getting a sneak peek at the upcoming updates of the game.
Oh, this statue is so cool.
I also had the chance to test out an early sneak peek version of the major update, which included the new class coming to the game, which is the Druid. I know a lot of people have been speculating about this class, but it's finally confirmed. This is the Druid class in all its glory, and it's such a fun class to play. But before we get into the Druid stuff in today's video, I just want to give a huge thank you to the team at Blizzard for making the event possible. It was such an amazing and great event, and not only do I want to thank Blizzard, but honestly I really want to thank everybody who watches my videos, everyone who supports me on the channel. You guys are honestly such an amazing community, and I just wanted to take the chance to appreciate every single one of you, everyone who watches my videos,
no problem,
leaves
brother.
A comment, leaves a like, just really appreciate.
I mean, I feel like, and I understand because I'm also a content creator and the feeling is overwhelming, but like as a viewer that I love Mo, I'm like, just keep doing great content, man. Keep doing great content. I'm gonna keep supporting you. That's how I feel.
Appreciate you guys. With that said, let's jump right into the video. So let's talk about the Druid class. Honestly, I'm super excited for the Druid to be coming to Diablo Immortal. This isn't the first time we had a Druid class come to Diablo. I think we had Druid in Diablo 4, and I don't think that was super well received, but honestly, after having
in Diablo 2 as well,
the version that
No. Listen. I mean, the Diablo 4 game was not well received, but the Druid itself, in Season 1, right at the start of the game, it was absolutely goated. It was so strong.
we have in Diablo Immortal, I can say that the visuals for this class are outstanding, and honestly,
No face reveal? No, I don't think so. I don't think not yet. I know how he looks, obviously. But yeah, I'm not gonna say it was how it looks.
The wide variety of skills which I'll be talking about are really great and really well done. So kudos to the Diablo team. You can see some of the cosmetics here. I haven't got that many, but I can show you guys. Let's hide the helmet here. Yeah, the Druid just looks.
You know what? You guys are seeing this Druid here. I would love to look as swaggish as this guy. This is my goal. You guys think I'll look good? I mean, I need to grow my hair a bit more, but I think I can pull it off. I believe that he can pull it off. Is handsome, bro? I know. I absolutely know that.
Really
Jim,
cool, and I think a lot of people
guys,
will be
you stop
happy
bullying
playing
me,
this
calling
class
me
in
fat,
terms of
dude.
just how it looks and the aesthetic. And I've tried to come up with builds both for PvP and PvE, which I'll make separate videos for. After having tried it, I can say that it probably will be really crazy on release, and
what if I make on the subathon like a goal that is like dyeing my hair? But then like I'll have to deal with that shit. I'm not gonna dye purple. Not like if I do, I'll do like a Druid cosplay. That'll be cool.
It will be very strong indeed. So I can't wait to actually try it once it actually releases. With that out of the way, let's talk about one of the main mechanics that the Diablo team added for the Druid, which is the Primal Power mechanic. You can see here in the right side, just above my skills, I have this bar, this
Primal Power.
And this is basically Primal Power, and it kind of acts like a resource. I kind of like to think of it like mana, and how it works is...
It's like mana, rage, like any other of these games that you played in the past they had. Like, this is the first class they are actually innovating on that.
You have all of these skills here, and for most...
no, there's also females, but like most of the standard characters are male, and the reality, Zeus, the female version looks like shit. That's why people are not using the female version.
These skills, they all generate the primal power and fill up this green bar. And then once you're ready to use up the primal power, you can actually use some of the more powerful abilities like the Werebear transform, the Werewolf transform, and also the Surging Stone skill. These are like the three main spenders. There are a few other spenders depending on the essence that you use, but these are pretty much the three main ones that you can use.
So it's one for caster. This Surging Stone, man, it is my favorite one. It is so good. Then you have the Warbird and the Werewolf.
Even if we take a quick look at the primary attack for the Druid, you can see that the primary attacks generate 2 primal power per second. So this is like a passive primal power generation.
This reminds me of Diablo 4.
You actually generate 1 primal power when hitting an enemy, and you can generate even more just depending on the essence that you use. So you can see here, I've got this one here, which is an offhand essence that says Versus Strike generates 5 additional primal power when hitting an enemy. So I can just show you guys, for example, the Werewolf transform, which looks super cool. You can see that once I transform, it starts depleting this primal power, as you can see, and I can transform out of it to save up the primal power. You can see now the passive generation from the primary attack. So this is kind of the main mechanic, is this primal power, and you kind of want to be managing your resource and keeping an eye on the primal power just so that you can keep all your skills up, because once you've transformed like into the wolf here, you can see
so you see every second a transformation is gonna drain 5 primal power. There are ways that while you are in this in this shifting, that you can have like some regeneration, but obviously it's at least at this stage in the game, with the answers that we have, you cannot stay in the werewolf form like 100% uptime, and you actually don't really want to do that, because from what I found out, the rotation itself is like, you do like 2 or 3 rotations of these, you go out of the werewolf even before these primal power already finish, you buff up, you go back to werewolf, and then you keep rotating. So you keep like shifting between the human form and the werewolf, so you can have the maximum damage output.
That all of my skills get replaced, and I'm able to do a bunch of other different skills which all look super cool, I have to say. Just look at this werewolf, and I'm gonna show one of my favorite ones, which is actually gonna be the lunge ability, I believe.
Oh, this is so fun.
Look how fast this moves through the map. It's just
these, by the way,
so awesome.
So they have a game designer that in the team that worked in League of Legends. Bro, I am pretty sure that guy, he actually worked on the rework of Warwick. So Warwick, it is this League of Legends character that pretty much just looks exactly like the werewolf, right? But it is actually like kind of cooler. Like it's like this, okay? It's a zombie, but he has a skill that whenever like people go below 50%, he starts like dashing
a
like
bunch
this.
of other different skills which all look super cool, I have to say. Just look at this werewolf, and I'm gonna show one of my favorite ones, which is actually gonna be
the Warwick smells blood
lunge ability, I believe, and you can see just how fast this moves through.
Yeah, he has like some trails.
Looking so awesome, so I can't wait to try this out. You can actually see some of the skills as well for the transforms. So if we actually take a look at this well, you can see, for example, here
look at this. It didn't say, but now, guys, you can actually swap the skills of your transformation. So you know how annoying it is whenever you're playing the Abomination on the Blood Knight and the Abomination skills are in the wrong place, because like you use your dash on the right click or on the 3 or on the 1, but until now they were fixed, but not anymore. I mean, still for the Blood Knight, it is still fixed, but on this new class, you can actually change where do you put it. You can put the lunge on the 3rd, on the 4th, wherever you want. I feel like this is one of the greatest changes that they actually made, man.
First skill,
and I hope like they actually also bring these to Blood Knight.
The second skill, the lunge, and the third skill, howl, and you can obviously move all of these around as you please as well. The same for the werebear. You've got all of the skills: crush, bound, mangle. This is just such a cool class. There's just so much to explore here. You can even do some really cool stuff with this class, like summon wolves. You can summon grizzlies. You can summon an oak sage, and you can even transform into a stag. So I'll show you guys. It looks really cool. And
this skill, I think it's gonna be so annoying in PvP. I'm telling you.
I'm just super excited for this class. I think you guys can probably tell. You can transform into ravens as well. So yeah, there's just so much to explore with this class, and I can't wait to see it in action when it comes live in the game. I'm gonna move on now and share with you guys the first version of the highest solo DPS build that I made for the Druid. Just bear in mind that a lot of the essence or a lot of the skills are subject to change, so things might be different from this video. This build is going to serve as a starter build. Obviously, I didn't have the chance to play with my own character. It was a test character, and it didn't have a lot of the things like the correct reforges.
This is like the risk that I think like Mo is taking on making these build guys like very early on, because it's like it's in a private test, right? So a lot of things, and also this private test is already a build. And what I mean a build is like, if you don't know how what tech works, is like it is a version of the game that is already probably a few weeks old. So during that time, we actually, like the creators, we found out like multiple bugs, which I feel and I believe that they will actually fix it before it goes live. So I will take this, and like Mo is saying, take it as a with a grain of salt. That maybe whenever it comes live, you're gonna try this build and it's not gonna work as well as working here, just because they probably or nerf it or they made changes on the ancestors.
Is the correct runes, so the damage output will be a little bit lower, but I will be testing this build on my main character once it goes live, and if there are any improvements or changes, then I will keep you guys updated and make a future video. I'll quickly start by showing a 30-second damage test for the build. The idea behind this build is really simple, so my aim was to generate primal power really fast and then transform into the werewolf form, which I noticed did quite a lot of damage, so I was trying to maximize the time I spent in the form. And then obviously I could also exit the form just to refresh my skills, because things like the summons, as you'll notice, like the summon wolf I have, is still attacking while I'm in the werewolf form, so I had to...
Wait, why is not using the rabbit smites? That's curious. Because the rabbit smite is gonna give, maybe it's bugged. Like, it should absolutely use this. So because like when you use the rabbit smite, it also gives you like some more primal power. What he's saying is really right. Like, you have to go in and out of like the form.
Figure out which skills worked best while I was transformed, because some skills simply didn't have the uptime or simply didn't work at all while I was transformed. So this is the final result that I had, and obviously, like I said, the damage won't be as high as on my main character. For the skills, I'm using Rabid Might, Fire Tornado, Summon Wolves, Werewolf Form, and for the primary attack, I'm using Ferocious Strike. As far as the essence I'm using Bonfire Crest for the helmet and Break Plates for the chest. So these are both essence for Fire Tornado. So for the helmet, it reads that Fire Tornado unleashes an explosion at a target location that damages and burns nearby enemies, and the skill...
Okay, the build is actually different. I'm not saying that I found a better build or not. My build is actually different. I was not using this.
Can be triggered on primary attacks. So this is pretty important, because even in the transformed form with the primary attacks, it should be triggering the explosions with the Fire Tornado. And then for the chest piece, it simply reads that it shatters the enemy armor and increases the damage that they take. So obviously I'm playing on Mastery 1, so the damage is also going to be lower. Once you reach Mastery 4, I believe that this goes up to 19% rather than 10% armor shatter increase. And yeah, most of these damage values are going to be increasing as you go up in Mastery.
Yeah, this view is really nice. The only thing I will actually add up is they need to put the name of the ancestors on top. Because like, yeah, you might not be able to read all the text, but we all know that people or players, they refer to ancestors with the name. So whenever I was in the Blizzard headquarters, I actually gave like two pieces of feedback, like which I think is going to be very important for us. The first one was please give us the name of the ancestors, because players, they just know the name of the ancestors. Like yeah, you may know more or less how they look after a while, but in general, it is way easier whenever you see a build that you're gonna copy paste like from the name. Another thing that I also mentioned, it was that, for example, if you guys see here, whenever he's actually inside the wall form, and I'm pretty sure it's bugged out here. You can actually not see the cooldowns to whenever you are in the human form, and that's actually super important for you to make like the perfect build, because as I said, like, it is gonna be very important for you to go to human form and in shapeshift again and so on. So I ask, hey, is there a way that whenever I'm in the shapeshift form, I can see the cooldown of the skills in my human form? So I said like maybe put here like a button or like just an icon that I know that it is already in ready
like
to use.
Someone...
I mean, I try my best, but also I'm a designer, right? So I focus a lot of like on the experience and on the UI aspect, and I actually had like a 1 hour feedback session, like with a she was a girl, she was like a UI UX designer, she was like next to me, like we went through all of these Druid UI things. We also went like through like the in-game experience for new players, the red dots. Yes guys, yes, I told her that red dot sucks, okay? And I told her that, oh man, it's like, it's fine if we have a few dots, but bro, sometimes it's just too overwhelming. There's just like too much shit on my screen. I don't want to deal with it, okay? And especially if you stop playing for a few weeks, it becomes extremely annoying.
Temporarily increases the damage of your primary attack based on your current primal power. If we take a look at the skills here for Rabid Might, it reads that it gives you 1% damage for every 1 primal power that you have, up to a maximum of 50%. So basically with this one essence, you can get up to 50% extra damage on your primary attacks, which is pretty crazy. It just...
You disagree? You like the markers? Okay, what I'm saying, some markers are useful. Other markers, like for example, the mailbox that is always on whenever I already checked all of these things, it is cringe. Another thing, it is this one. Like, because I'm mid-maxing my Eliquarium, and I know I want 42 willpower, but because I have higher combat rating stuff, this is always on. It is very annoying. Like, it's okay that you send you once there, but once I check it, bro, no, don't keep the red dot on all the time. I know what I'm doing. I'm mid-maxing my character. And there's also like multiple other examples of things that they actually become quite useless. Another thing that I also told was like regarding like certain alerts that hopefully in the future we are able to customize these better. So yeah, that's all I said.
Depends on how much primal power you have at that given moment. For the main hand essence, I'm using Lone
No, it's
Skull
not
on
a
the
bug,
first
it's
slot
intentional.
here.
That's
And
the
this
issue.
one, just like with the Shoulders essence that turns your summon wolves into burning ones, this one's going to turn your werewolf form into a burning one, and it causes explosions of flame when primary attacks critically hit. So a lot of the damage from this build is based on your primary attacks and how many times you can get them to critically hit. So obviously attack speed and also critical hit chance are very important with the critical...
Look at these answers, guys. This is probably the most broken one. It's the main hand for werewolf. First, you become like a flaming wolf, and then every time you crit with your primary attack, you just do like an explosion, a fire explosion. It is so OP. This like is actually MVP damage. This instance itself does more damage than all of them.
Hits triggering your Fire Tornado and also the werewolf form. And then for the second main hand, I'm using Burn Socket, which is another Fire Tornado essence, and this one just reads that Fire Tornado generates additional 1 primal power per enemy hit up to a maximum of 10. So
I see what he's
really
doing.
Good when you have a lot of enemies because you're going to generate the extra primal power, which is...
Yeah, so pretty much he's trying to mid-max and trying to stay as shortest time as he can on the human form.
Strike generates 5 additional
offense. By the way, the slot of offense, I said to them, bro, please, we need better offense. Like, whoever worked on the offense, it's like it was sleeping. There's like literally, like, these are the worst slots. There's so many like builds that could be so cool to build up for the Druid that you can't just because the offense are useless.
Primal power when hitting an enemy, and because we're doing
can't
so
wait
many
for the 500
attacks,
million dummy.
A lot of damage. The downside of this is that Ferocious Strike is only your primary attack while you're outside of the werewolf form. I don't think Druid is going to be as high DPS.
So
once you're inside, you won't have this essence active, unfortunately. As far as the other main hand essence I'm using, it's the Distant Hissing. It says it's for the Rend and Tear for the werewolf. If burning enemies are close to you, the range and damage of the claw increases and it knocks back enemies. I found that this one is pretty good because it will deal huge damage and it
this
won't
one is
mess
useless
up,
here.
Your rotation, so you'll be able to keep primary attacking away and dealing.
But I think in the future, guys, we're gonna have better. So these offense slots, they are saying they are working on better like answers for the future.
A lot of damage. As far as the set pieces that I'm using go, I'm using 4 pieces of Vithu's Urge. This is really good for the beneficial effect and also for the increased attack speed. We really want to get as many primary attacks as possible. So this is
4
really
pieces
good.
Grace.
And then for the second set that I'm
this
using,
is what I told
using
you guys.
4 piece Grace of Flagellant. This is also really good for.
This is like pretty standard for Druid. Okay. And pretty much for any class that does not have a resolve. So a lot of you guys were asking, can we have like a resolve build on Druid? Right now, at this stage, there is no resolve build. So the 4 pieces augments with 2 pieces Bardens, it is quite useless. It's gonna be 4 pieces Grace, 4 pieces Vitus. So if you guys want to start farming for the Druid, that's what it's gonna be. If you guys want for the Bear, is obviously gonna be the 4 pieces Mountebanks because you want to be tanky, and if you want to go with the werewolf into PvP is going to be the 4 pieces glooms.
For the 4-piece, where you can do a lot of damage every time you hit an enemy 5 times, so I found that this works the best. I did also try to use like something like Angman, which prolongs the burning durations and stuff like that, but it just didn't work as good as
I think they should nerf
as far
the
as
resolve,
legendary gems, I didn't really have that many to test with on the test build, but I will be trying it out once it's actually live in game. So I'm just using some really decent DPS gems like Bottled Hope, Roiling Consequence.
This was from the testing.
I'm using Gloom Cask for the because I didn't have material.
Anything else? Like, okay, what is the Paragon?
DPS.
Okay, he's using standard Paragon. We already know. This is not like even his class, but there is something here that I want to see, because I also want to show you guys, because you guys remember that I was telling you guys to save your rondelites or rhodolites, right? And your crafting materials. This is why. Also save your Terror Ancestors, because you guys going to be able to see, man, there are so many good and OP magic attributes here that it is crazy.
I think that they will be used for pretty much every build for the Druid, and the strongest one in my opinion for this build is the Summon Wolf one, and this one reads that primary attacks have a 15% chance to increase the Summon Wolf attack speed by 15% for 6 seconds. This one is extremely strong and you'll end up doing a lot more damage with these summons.
What is the first one he said?
So in general, the eternal powers for the Druid class are extremely strong, and I think that they will be used for pretty much every build for the Druid, and the strongest one in my opinion.
Okay, so you're saying like the wolves are the strongest one.
That one is also really good, and it reads that the damage is increased.
Bro, look at this one. Can you guys read this? Can you guys read this for me? While you have Rabbit Might, which by the way, guys, it is a 3 minutes. It is a 3 minutes buff that can be extended, okay? It is literally a 3 minutes buff can be extended, and it's gonna give you up to 36% more damage. That's crazy. That's like, there is no terror affixes, magic attributes that it gives you so much. It's like a passive 36% more damage. It's absolutely goated, man.
Increased by 9% while a status effect is active.
What is exactly the status? The status is just like it's gonna increase your health, and whenever you use it, it's gonna give you some immunity to CC. So the passive that it does, like the passive thing, I mean, it's gonna make you more tanky. That's pretty much it. But that's not why you're using it in PvE. You're using it because of this. You have 30% more life, and you also have 36% more damage.
I believe that this means like something like burning, which we're always applying. So this is a really good damage increase. These are probably the 2 best ones to use. You could also pick up something like the Fire Tornado one, which gives increased range, but honestly, this one's
increased
not
range
really,
sucks.
That useful.
Nobody
the best
cares.
ones, like I said, are the Rabid Might and also the Summon Wolves, and you're gonna do really good damage if you have like 1 or 2 of these at least on your build.
Alright.
That's about it as far as the build goes. You can pause the video here if you want a snapshot of the armory.
Yeah.
Overall, I think that the Druid is a super fun class, and I can't wait for you guys to try it out. At the same time this video goes live, I'm also going to have a Druid farming build which utilizes the Searching Stone skill, which is pretty strong. And I'm
okay, so guys, if you guys want to go and check it out, the damage build is right there. I know that he's also coming up like with more builds, so we're probably gonna also check those out. So guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.